Hello, my beautiful people. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. My name is Siobhan. Let me just get things in order here. And we're going to be talking about some hidden histories, mysteries, baby. I'm searching around, I'm looking around, I'm thinking to myself, I bet there's something in this town that's hidden. Some history that we haven't heard before. What could it be? Let me think. Maybe a hotel. I'll look up a hotel. 1920s era. And here's the hotel. It's called the Ocean Forrest Hotel. And this is the Queen Bee, baby. This is the what they called the Riviera of the Atlantic. It was paradise. The hottest hotel between New York and Miami, and exactly between New York and Miami. It was done intentionally, but what happened? In less than 30 years, the whole thing was demolished. And what they put up in its place is just some, beachfront, low rate motels to me. Nothing special. Dime a dozen. And what they tore down, baby, was a grand old lady. So, let's do a little history. I have some pictures. I haven't figured out exactly how to go about showing you what we got going on picture wise, but I will be doing a video here that soon. So let me just tell you a few things that we're going to cover here. I first want to say welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in to me. If you're interested in jumping down the rabbit hole with me on some real interesting topics like the mud flood, hidden history, how about melted buildings and melted bricks, Starforts. That's where we're going to go today. Starforts. The Ocean Forest Hotel, hidden Starfort, ancient ruins. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I'll be doing some boots on the ground investigation here, and I will be definitely taking those of you who tune in along with me. So please like and subscribe. Please hit the notification bell so that you don't miss anything. This is going to be hot. All right, we're going to call ourselves Beneath the Streets. Beneath the Streets Research. That's me. Beneath the Streets Research. This is a safe place to dive deep into the rabbit holes and question the historical narrative that we have been programmed into believing. Join me, won't you? We'll put boots on the ground whenever possible, and we'll discover histories, mysteries, starting with local area, at least local to me. We're in South Carolina, coming at you from Myrtle Beach. Today's mystery begins right here with the long demolished hotel. Grab a coffee and a snack as we sit back and ask what's the deal with the Ocean Forest Hotel. Like I started telling you guys, it was called the Riviera. I'm trying to adjust this a little bit with. I don't know if that's any better. Let's just go ahead with the little story. I'll tell you a little story. Okay? The Ocean Forest Hotel. It was called the Riviera Atlantic. The Riviera of the Atlantic. If you didn't catch that, I kind of mumbled right through that, but it was called the Riviera of the Atlantic. It was a dream that began in the mind of a man named Woodside. He was the son of a textile magnate in Greenville, South Carolina. His family built boxes. Okay. I think I just jumped ahead of myself. All right. Now this guy, he had a dream for this land that apparently was doing nothing for a long time. I'll tell you a little bit of history in Myrtle Beach. I could find records going back to the 1500s. Then it looked like nothing really happened until about 1700. So it was like 200-300 years that apparently nobody did anything. And then come turn of the century, there was some push and shove for a railroad to go between here and Conway. There was already what's known as the King's Highway, which was a road literally traveled by the king, apparently. Well, anyway, so once they got the railroad going, things picked up for Old Myrtle Beach. Up until then, it was pretty much just swampland. Okay, so I tried to find pictures. I couldn't find any pictures of it. Could not anywhere where I could find it. All right. Well, anyway, so Woodside brought remarkably 65,000 acres from Myrtle Beach farmland. 65,000 acres. And he had a dream, let me tell you what, to have a resort, the resort of all resorts. And he was going to build it here. And he dreamed of having it built in, imagine this neoclassical type of construction. Why not make it look like it came right out of, Greece? I don't know. Isn't that what people do? Well, anyway, so he hired an architect, and I shouldn't really put quotes around his name, so I guess he was an architect. He just has some shady affiliations. His name was Robert Hood. Robert Hood. You might have heard of him or remember him. He has connections, man. Let me tell you what. I'll get to that in just a minute. Oh, Woodside, okay, and his blessed little dream, he decided that he's going to hire an architect to make his dream come true. So what did he do? He did what everybody else at this time of the century did when they wanted an architect. They held a contest. Like John Lennon says, the little horse and buggy man, the Pony Express delivering his little contest winners back and forth all around the world. Nobody knows what the heck these contests are about, but there was a winner. Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, Robert Hood. And I said he had affiliations. Oh, yeah. He built the Rockefeller, was one of the architects given credit for the Rockefeller Center in New York, New York. Yeah. Quite an achievement. But more than that, he's credited with quite a few remarkable lifetime achievement types of places. We'll get back into that. So, Raymond Hood. What did I call it? Robert? I think Raymond. I'm sorry. So sorry. Okay. Mr. Hood. All right. He won the contest. And in 1 year's time, they built this amazing 10-story tower with a wedding cake top tower, 2 wings, 5 floors each. Okay, so 10-story tower, 2 wings spreading out, 5 floors on either side. There's porches. There's inside and outside pools. There's an equestrian center. Maybe there is an amphitheater. Does it remind you of anything? Yeah, it reminds me of something too. Ancient Rome. So anyway, we're going to show you some pictures that'll just blow you away of the top or of the aerial view of this place. Anyway, so with all this 202 rooms, 5-story wings, there's a strict dress code, suits and dresses were expected well up into the 50s when they came out with what's called resort wear, and then the formality slung back. So here you are, Seaside Hotel, dressed to the hilt. There's ballrooms, there's marble floors, there's marble staircases. There's, if you want it, salt water piped into your bathtub. You want a saltwater bath, you know, you could if you stayed there. All right, they had everything. They had uh, just luxury, the luxury of luxury. And for all this luxury, there aren't very many pictures of the inside of this place at all. I found it's like a couple of round tables with white tablecloths with a bunch of old people sitting around eating, drinking. Some people, waiters, obviously standing in the back. You know, those kind of pictures. Just they could have been anywhere, anytime. Um, then we see there was dancing girls. There was fine food. There's this. There's that. There's now the attraction of Hollywood. Oh yeah, Hollywood's involved here, and on come the stars. They named a few. Shelley Winters is one. Oh yeah, this was a hot spot for all of these things, and apparently the, there was some bad history here. Okay, so and there's some mixed up history too, because what I saw was that this place was built within a year. Old Woodside dream fell apart and he couldn't afford it anymore. He ended up getting repoed and all this stuff. And years later, somebody else probably went through several other hands. Finally, someone got a hold of it. They had a lot less land, but they had the hotel, and they're the ones that made it the Hollywood attraction. All right, so apparently we're going to give you just an idea. Now, Myrtle Beach in 1938 was incorporated. Okay, there wasn't very many people here. Just in 1958, the census said there was 28,000 people here. So that's not very many people. It became a city in 1958. So up until 1938, there was a little bit. I think they said one commercial property in Conway, which is about 40 miles north of the city. There's a store or something like that up there. Okay, so like I said, for some place that had been founded and supposedly going back to 1500s, there was a long, long stretch of nothingness that happened here that really raises my eyebrows. Alrighty. So anyway, the Myrtle Beach was called Newtown prior to becoming a city in 1938. Now, they did hold this contest to find the name for the city because it was called Newtown. And don't you know, some multi-billionaires up in the Conway area won, the lady won, and she named it Myrtle Beach because lovely myrtle trees that grow long. Okay. I don't know that I've ever noticed really myrtle trees growing around long or whatever they're called. Crepe myrtles? I don't know. Is that the same thing? I don't notice that there's an abundance to call it Myrtle Beach, but maybe there is. I won't make an issue. All right. So in 1912, a guy named Chapin invested in the town. Okay. Now, in 1929, they built the hotel. And what really freaks me out, for all its fancy latiganas, less than 30 years later, in 1974, September 13th, 1974, they demolished, completely imploded the building, wiped it off the face of the map, put in its place some cheesy little, you know, what do you call it, like a shop, straight shop, front door, back door, some kind of pool in the middle. Yeah, nice. Anyway, uh, so we wanted to look a little bit into this. Who is this guy who had born to a crate and box manufacturer in 1893, or I'm sorry, in 1881, and died in 1934. So he was a young man, and for the shortness of his life, he had a mighty, mighty career. Let me tell you what. All right, so he went to Brown University. I looked at that. That looks like a castle. There's like I said, there's a lot of connections. There's a lot of connections. That in itself is its own video. I want to look closer to some of these things that I brought up today. I hope you all be interested in following me beneath the streets research. And I'm going to get some video together for you and blow your mind. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. God bless. I love y'all. Keep safe and ride free.